Welcome to the instruction video for the Humanitarian and General Purpose Tent System, or HGPTS, manufactured by Celina Tent. It takes 4 people a half hour to erect the HGPTS. The HGPTS is a non-tactical shelter designed to offer an economical solution for humanitarian aid in the event of a natural disaster or conflict worldwide. The crate is secured with 2 straps, while the metal frame allows for a maximum stack height of 6 for efficient shipping and storage. Step 1 for the humanitarian tent erection procedure. Lay out all the fittings and poles. General purposes include, but are not limited to, medical facilities, billeting, field service, and storage. Step 2. Set the 8-way crown so the 4 blue posts that do not touch the ground are pointed towards the corners. The shelter comes in 2 colors, desert tan and olive drab. Slide the ends of the hip swag pole onto the hip rafter pole. Slide the ends of the rafter swag onto the remaining hip rafter poles. Slide the ends of the hip swag pole onto the corner posts of the 8-way crown, lining up the poles until the push pins engage. Step 3. Take the combined hip rafter poles and slide onto the remaining posts on the 8-way crown, lining up the holes until the push pins engage. Step 4. Locate all 4 corner fittings and slide the hip rafter poles on, lining up the holes until the push pins engage. Step 5. Locate and slide all 4 of the side T-fittings into the hip rafter poles, lining up the holes until the push pins engage. Step 6. Connect each of the 88-inch spreader poles between each corner and each side T-fitting all the way around the perimeter of the frame, lining up the holes until the push pins engage. The framework is a standard item which allows replacement to be purchased worldwide. The framework joints can be welded to create a semi-permanent long-term structure. If possible, always utilize a drop cloth during erection and striking to avoid possible pinholes. Steer clear of catching any fabric on corners and edges that could result in tearing. Step 7. Pull the tent top over the frame. It is important to leave the side walls on top of the frame. Step 8. Take all 8 of the 80-inch legs and slide one end of each pole into the base plate fitting and pin using the pin and bail. Slide the pin through the hole in the base plate and leg hole, then connect the bail end around the pin. Step 9. Lift one side of the frame up and slide the legs with base plates into the bottom of the 2 corner fittings and pin using pin and bail. Slide the pin through the hole in the corner fitting and leg hole, then connect the bail end around the pin. Step 10. Locate the corner tent top straps. They are 120 inches in length. To attach a tent top strap on a corner, take the loop end through both 1.5-inch welded D-rings on each side. Run the rest of the strap through the loop and pull tight. To reattach a removed tent top strap on a side, take the loop end through the 1.5-inch welded D-ring, run the rest of the strap through the loop and outside slot of the base plate, and pull tight. Step 11. Lift the other side of the frame up and slide the legs with the base plates into the bottom of the remaining corner fittings and pin using pin and bail. Step 12. Put the other 4 legs with base plates on the bottom of all of the side T fittings and pin with pin and bail. Step 13. Locate the remaining tent top straps. Attach the loop end through the 1.5-inch welded D-ring. Run the rest of the strap through the loop and outside slot of the base plate and pull tight. Step 14. Lay out the floor underneath the frame. Step 15. Attach the floor by snapping the spring snaps to the inside 3/4 inch holes on each base plate at each corner. Connect the spring snap to the inside slot for remaining pole locations. Connect the hook and loop around the leg and kick the legs out until the floor is tight. Step 16. Stake the tent by pounding a 5/8 inch by 24 inch hook stake through the outside hole of each base plate. The only tool required for erection is a hammering device such as a hammer, mallet, or even a rock. Step 17. Take the ends of the straps down through the outside slot of each base plate. Step 18. Take notice that you should center the tent top before tightening all straps by centering the patch with the 8-way crown. Tighten each strap by running the tail end of the strap through both D-rings, and then back through the lower D-ring. Pull the tail end downward to tighten. Use a foot if necessary to tighten the straps. Step 19. Locate the 14 X-bracing straps. On each corner and side T-fittings, take the loop end through the 1 1/4 inch welded D-rings on either side of the hip or rafter poles. Run the rest of the strap through the loop and pull tight. Step 20. Take notice that the X-brace straps go on every bay except for the bay with the door. To find the door bay, stand under the center of the tent facing the direction of the roof vent. The door bay is directly in front on the left. Step 21. Take the strap down to the open slot on the corresponding side of each base plate and pull tight. Step 22. Tighten each strap by running the tail end of the strap through both D-rings and then back through the lower D-ring. Pull the tail end downward to tighten. Use a foot if necessary to tighten the straps. Step 23. Pull the sides down off of the tent top. Step 24. Take notice that the doors must be closed prior to tightening the side release buckles. Close all corners by connecting all of the side release buckles and tightening. Close all of the interior corners by connecting all the side release buckles and tightening. Step 25. Lay the sandbags on the sod cloth flap around the perimeter of the tent. Step 26. To roll the window flaps, unhook the flap from the sidewall and roll up from underneath. Tie off with window tie. Take notice to make sure to roll in the correct direction to prevent collecting water. Step 27. To roll up the door, stand inside the tent. Tightly roll up the top of the door. Tie off with tie. Step 28. To roll up the sidewall, stand inside the tent and tightly roll up the sidewall and tie off with ties. Step 29. To add mesh sidewalls, Velcro mesh sidewalls to flaps underneath the tent wall and connect all of the side release buckles and tighten. Step 30. To open the peak vent, loosely hold onto the rope. Walk around the opposite side of the tent and pull on the rope until the flap is open. Step 31. To close the peak vent, loosely hold onto the rope. Walk around to the vent side of the tent and pull on the rope until the flap is closed. Step 32. The floor can be used as an internal liner to improve the shelter's thermal efficiency, as shown here. Additionally, the internal liner can minimize the effects of condensation. First, flip the floor upside down so the D-ring, which is in the middle of the floor, is facing up. Tie a rope or a string to the D-ring. Hang the D-ring 2 to 3 feet below the center of the 8-way crown. Attach the spring snaps to the D-rings on the fitting or to the wire bail on the pinion bail. Humanitarian tent strike procedure. Number 1. Unlock all side release buckles on each corner flap. Step 2. Loosen and take off all X-bracing straps. for a total of 14. Step 3. Take away the floor by unhooking all of the spring snaps and separating all of the hook and loop, set off to the side. Step 4. Pull all of the stakes out of the ground. Step 5. Loosen all of the tent top straps for a total of 8, removing the strap from the slots of the base plates. Step 6. Remove the 4 middle legs with the base plates and place off to the side. Step 1 of the repackaging procedure. Lay the complete HGPTS tent top out as flat as possible. Step 2. Fold all 4 sidewalls in towards the center of the tent top. Step 3. Set the floor on top of the tent top. Step 4. Fold the floor and top in half 2 times. Step 5. Roll as tight as possible. Step 6. Place the rolled up floor and top in the center of the bag directly on the printed instructions. Step 7. Connect the male and female side release buckle long way first and then pull tight. Step 8. Join the remaining 3 side release buckles and pull tight. If the 3 side release buckles are tightened all the way, the bag should fit into the crate. Step 9. Place all the poles in the crate. Step 10. Place all fittings, straps, stakes, and pinion bales in the crate. Step 11. Place the tent membrane in the crate and close the lid. For more information, visit www.hgtps.com or call us at 419-586-3610.